we're living in times that are growing increasingly dark. And the thing about it, sometimes it's like the frog in the pot. The water's boiling, but it's been rising so slowly. The temperature's been rising so slowly. We don't often realize the temperature of the pot until it's a little too late. One of the reasons why I chose to move into this topic of spiritual warfare, because there is so much prevailing evil out there that is pushing against God's agenda. And it is important for us to use discernment. And one of the primary reasons I'm preaching on this topic is because I see the need for increasing discernment. In the 700s BC, the Lord compared Israel to a prostitute. And then worse than a prostitute in the 500s. And at the close of the Old Testament, the prophet Malachi, God told Israel they have no idea what God's love is anymore. If God would say that on that side of Calvary, what is he saying on this side of Calvary? But it is time to awaken. It's time to be discerning. It's time to understand the significance of the days we're living in, like never before, church. This is a time that the church should be the most alive, the most moving forward with evangelistic power and presenting the gospel at every chance we get. In the mornings, I read from the Old Testament. I read 3 chapters in the Old Testament. In the evenings, I read 3 chapters in the New Testament. And right now, I'm in the book of Acts. And the fervor behind the apostles, how they were facing tremendous opposition, culturally, spiritually, from the heads of the Jews. Everywhere they went, they were meeting opposition, but yet through that opposition, they were finding tremendous spiritual victory. We read from 2 Corinthians chapter 12 this morning. Paul is talking about how he has been finding himself against oppositions, yet he was taken up and God's shown him things that he can't even utter or speak about. But yet there is with Paul this opposition to share the gospel no matter what. And we sang about this morning too. Send the light, the blessed gospel light. I think we've reached this point in our culture that we're so used to things being easy. Remember the old easy button? And we want that with church. We want just the easy button. But God didn't design it that way. And he puts, according to Paul, he puts opposition in the way to humble us, to make us dependent upon him, but to remember that it's not about us. Come back to the heart of worship, and it's all about him. So this past weekend, we see that there's this increase in persecution in Syria. Thousands of Christians being killed for simply being Syrian Christians, and along with another ethnic group. Can we be reminded that there are brothers and sisters in parts of the world where it's okay to be killed, to kill, because they don't fit the dominating religion, prominently Islam. We find that with Hinduism too, but mostly we find that in Islam. It's happening in Niger, it's happening in Sudan, it's happening in North Korea, it's happening in China. The world is pushing against God's message. It's happening in Israel. Jesus said they're going to deliver you up to tribulation. They are going to put you to death, and you'll be hated by all nations for my name's sake. That's not a very encouraging job offer here. Come work for me and everybody's going to hate you because you work for me. But that is our marching orders. We're in a battle. And when you're in a battle, we don't take the easy route. We push through.